Hi, welcome to my channel, Mission 919. Mission 919 is devoted to news, information, narrative um, related to achievement, well-being, and prosperity in the African world. And today, this clip is about Julian Francis Abele, an architect. He was born in 1881 in Philadelphia. He also died in Philadelphia in 1950. He studied at the Institute of Colored Youth, which is now, or became Cheney University. He also studied at the University of Pennsylvania and was the first student in the architectural department at the University of Pennsylvania Architectural School. He graduated from there in 1902, and he was I think he was elected the president of the class. Anyway, he was given an award by the class. In any event, he studied in France for a while, came back, and became introduced to the architect and the owner of an architectural firm, Horace Trumbauer, and began working there. I believe it was 1909. He worked there for the rest of his life until 1950. He became, actually I think he worked there before. I think he worked there maybe from 1903 or 1904. I think he became chief designer in 1909. I think that's it. And in any event, he worked there for decades. He was chief designer for decades, over at least 30-something years. He had a part in designing some 400 buildings. He either was not allowed or thought it impolitic, given the racial codes of the time, not to sign his work, not to claim credit for it, at least until Horace Trumbauer passed away in 1938. But he designed the Parkway Central Library, which is the headquarters of the Philadelphia library system. It's the largest library there. It's also the only research library. He designed a museum of art, Philadelphia Museum of Art. It's on the steps of that building that in the film Rocky, Sylvester Stallone runs up the staircase during his workout montage. Probably the most famous part of that movie. He also is the principal designer of much of Duke University, especially the West Campus, including the iconic Duke University Chapel, the Cameron Indoor Stadium. I think it's now called Duke Indoor Stadium, where the Duke Blue Devils basketball team plays. He designed many, many, many buildings there. He also designed Widener Memorial Library in Harvard Yard of Harvard University. Widener Memorial Library was named after Henry Elkins Widener, who perished in the Titanic disaster. So I mean, the buildings that he was associated with and the principal designer of is quite an impressive list. He was born in 1881, like I said, and so as he was growing up and becoming an adult in the 1890s and early 1900s, this is part of what's often called the nadir of African Americans in the United States, when after Reconstruction is ended, there's a great deal of repression, violence, rollback of rights, which is the main story, of African Americans in that time period. At least that's what we're told. But despite all of that, it was still a period of expansion of roles, and expansion of consciousness, and expansion of achievement, despite the rough conditions. And Julian Francis Abele, I think, represents that. He also, he was kept in the background, to say the least. So his achievements were not really acknowledged by Horace Trumbauer. they were kept under wraps. And so also, I mean, that is also, part of the history of the country, part of the time period. And so, it's very important for his story now to be told. The quad, the west quad of Duke University that he designed is now called Abele Quad, and I believe there are permanent memorials to him on Duke University campus now, which is very fitting. And so hopefully his achievement and his life story, fascinating in many regards. He married a woman from France. He had 3 children with her. They separated, but he refused to divorce her. So, he never divorced her. And so when he passed away, the children that she had with another man actually ended up being legally part of part of his descendants. In other words, part of his estate went to those kids. So, that's quite a very interesting human aspect to his personal life. In any event, hopefully, we see some kind of popular representation of his life, of his experiences, of his achievement, and perhaps in film and novels. Definitely an undertold story, and hopefully it will be better known and be an example and inspiration to current and future generations of aspiring architects of all kinds, but especially African Americans. So, in the name of the ancestors and the unborn who are the same, Ashe, 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 and we'll see you next time.